Werner Mölders, Luftwaffe's creator of the Finger 4 formation by warmachineer Werner Mölders, is often called the father of modern fighter tactics, but that title misses the point entirely. He did not invent the Finger 4 formation. He stole it from the Spanish Republicans, who had stolen it from the Russians. What Mölders did was simpler and more important: he wrote down the rules for why it worked, in language a 19-year-old could understand. Before him, every air force in the world taught pilots to fly in rigid 3-ship Vics, a leader and 2 wingmen glued to his wings. Mölders realized the Vic was a death trap. The wingmen spent all their time watching the leader, and no time watching the sky. He came to Spain already unusual. A bout of airsickness almost ended his career in 1934. He conquered it by sheer stubbornness, flying until his body gave up and adapted. The Condor Legion arrived with the Vic formation and paid for it immediately. Soviet I-16s, flown by experienced Spanish and Russian pilots, sliced through German 3s like a knife through celery. Mölders spent his nights not drinking or writing letters, but translating captured Soviet tactical manuals by lamplight. The Russians called their formation Svino, the link. It was 4 aircraft, split into 2 pairs. The key insight had nothing to do with numbers. It was about vision. In a Vic, 2 out of 3 pilots are looking at their leader. In a Finger 4, 3 out of 4 pilots are looking for the enemy. Mölders' second insight was about aggression. Most pilots want to turn into an attack. Mölders taught his men to turn away, toward their wingmen, not away from him. The result was the first true modern defensive break, 2 aircraft turning into one another, each protecting the other's tail, forcing the attacker to fly through both fields of fire. By the time he returned to Germany, Mölders had 14 confirmed kills in Spain, more than any other pilot in the Condor Legion. But his real trophy was a stack of notebooks. Those notebooks became the basis for every Luftwaffe tactical manual published between 1939 and 1945. The British and Americans would not adopt the Finger 4 until 1942, after they had already taken heavy losses flying the Vic. Mölders and Adolf Galland became friends, but they were not rivals. Galland was a hunter. Mölders was a teacher. Their arguments were always about method, never about glory. By the summer of 1941, Mölders had become the first pilot in history to shoot down 100 enemy aircraft. He was also exhausted, pale, and suffering from recurrent vertigo. The Luftwaffe ordered him grounded for his own safety. He protested. They relented. He flew one more mission, a ground attack sortie over the Eastern Front, and was killed when his aircraft's engine failed in bad weather. He was not shot down. His mechanic later wrote that the engine had been pulled from a training unit because combat engines were in short supply. Mölders knew the risk and flew anyway. His funeral was held in Berlin. Göring gave the eulogy. Hitler attended. But the only tribute that mattered was invisible. Every fighter pilot who survived the war owed part of their survival to a man who wrote things down. The Finger 4 is still taught today, unchanged, in every major air force on Earth. The names have changed: fighting wing, tactical formation, section spread, but the geometry is identical. Mölders never patented his tactics. He never wrote a memoir. He just solved a problem and left the solution on the table for anyone smart enough to pick it up. Subscribe to Warmachiner and share this if you value history that goes deeper. Before Mölders, aerial dogfighting was an unpredictable chaos, akin to talented individuals stumbling through a dance. Yet, he took that raw energy and refined it, creating a systematic approach to aerial tactics that fundamentally changed the outcome of conflicts. He understood the need for clarity among pilots amid the frenzy of combat, ensuring that they could trust each other in the skies. The transformation of aerial combat during the Spanish Civil War, spurred by Mölders' insights and adaptations, turned the tide for the Condor Legion, showcasing how innovation can arise from adversity. Werner Mölders' journey was not merely a military advancement, it was a personal odyssey filled with challenges. Initially burdened by severe airsickness, he transformed that vulnerability into a testament of resilience. Rather than succumbing to fear, he embraced the skies with determination, ultimately mastering the art of flying. His evenings spent translating Soviet manuals in the dim light not only enriched his understanding but paved the way for tactical innovations that would define aerial warfare. As battles raged on, his insights became crucial, illuminating a path for his comrades amidst the chaos of combat. Mölders' revolutionary perspective on aerial tactics was underscored by his emphasis on vision. He observed that the rigid 3-ship Vic formation stifled a pilot's ability to see the battlefield. Replacing that with the Finger 4 allowed peers to engage the enemy while simultaneously maintaining a defense, shifting the contributors in any air skirmish from mere followers to vigilant participants. His dedication to reshaping pilot tactics significantly altered the